It started with a whisper, the kind of rumor people brush off at first. But within hours, that whisper turned into a storm that no one in the love and hip-hop circle could ignore. Screens lit up, timelines exploded, and fans everywhere found themselves asking the same question: what exactly did Tasha K just reveal? Because according to her shocking claims, there may be a secret that changes everything people thought they knew about Mendeecees and his already complicated past. And this is not just any secret. This is the kind of revelation that tears relationships apart, flips loyalties overnight, and leaves families struggling to pick sides. Sources close to the situation say emotions ran high the moment the story broke. Messages started flying between cast members. Old tensions resurfaced. And at the center of it all sat a claim so explosive, so unexpected, that even longtime fans were left stunned. A secret baby. And not just with anyone, but allegedly with Erica. Fans are shocked, trying to piece together timelines, past interactions, and moments that once seemed harmless but now feel loaded with hidden meaning. Was there something going on behind the scenes this entire time? Were the signs there all along? Meanwhile, insiders claim that reactions behind closed doors have been even more intense than what the public is seeing. Voices raised, phones slammed, tears shed, because if this is true, it does not just affect one person. It affects everyone connected to them. And now, with Tasha K standing firmly behind her claims, the question is no longer if the drama will unfold, but how far it is about to go. The moment that Liv went up, everything changed. People thought it would be another messy rant, another loud accusation that fades by morning. But this felt different from the very first second Tasha K leaned closer to the camera, her voice low, almost too calm for the kind of storm she was about to unleash. You could see it in her eyes, that look that says she knows something nobody else is ready to hear. She said it slowly, letting every word sit heavy. She said Mendeecees has been hiding something for years. Not rumors, not cheating stories people already whispered about, but something deeper. Something that could shake his entire life. And before anyone could even process that, she dropped the name. Erica. Comments started flooding in so fast it was hard to read. Fans were shocked. People typing in all caps, asking if this was real, if she had proof, if she was just chasing attention again. But Tasha did not back down. She kept going, repeating it like she wanted it to sink into every single person watching. She said there was a baby. And suddenly, the entire internet froze. Now inside Yandy's house, things were already tense before this even happened. There had been quiet arguments, small things that did not make sense at the time. Late nights, missed calls, moments where Mendeecees would step out of the room just to answer his phone. Yandy noticed, but she never had something solid to hold onto. Just a feeling that something was off. Her friend leaned over to her phone, reading the comments out loud. They're saying it's Erica, they're saying there's a baby. Yandy shook her head at first, almost laughing. No, that doesn't even make sense. People will say anything online, but then another message came in. And another. Screenshots started circulating. Old photos, blurry clips, things people were digging up from years back. Moments where Mendeecees and Erica were in the same place, at the same time, looking a little too close for comfort. Yandy's face slowly changed. That small smile disappeared. Her eyes narrowed as she scrolled faster, her fingers moving like she was searching for something she hoped she would not find. Call him, her friend said quietly. Yandy did not hesitate. She hit his name and put the phone on speaker. It rang once, twice, 3 times. No answer. Call him again, this time, straight to voicemail. That was the moment everything shifted. Because across town, Mendeecees was already feeling the pressure. His phone had not stopped buzzing since the live started. Messages from friends, from people he had not heard from in years, even from family members asking him what was going on. He sat there staring at the screen, jaw tight, trying to decide what to do. Ignore it and hope it dies down, or say something and risk making it worse. His boy looked at him, shaking his head. You gotta say something, bro. This ain't small. Mendeecees ran his hand over his face. It's not what they think, then what is it? He did not answer right away, and that silence said more than anything else. Meanwhile, Erica was dealing with her own storm. Her phone was blowing up even worse. People tagging her, sending messages, some asking questions, others already judging her like they had all the answers. She opened the live replay and watched it from the beginning. Every word Tasha said hit harder the second time. By the time it ended, Erica's hands were shaking. Her friend walked into the room. You need to respond before this gets out of control. Erica looked up, her eyes filled with a mix of anger and fear. Respond to what? Lies? Then say that. But Erica did not move. Because deep down, she knew this was not going to be that simple. Back at Yandy's house, the tension had turned into something heavier. She finally stopped scrolling and looked up, her voice low but sharp. Why would she say that? No one had an answer. And then, just as she was about to call again, her phone lit up. Mendeecees. She stared at the screen for a second before answering. Where are you? His voice came through, calm but strained. I'm out. What's going on? Yandy let out a short laugh that had no humor in it. Don't play with me right now. You seen what's being said? Yeah, I seen it, and there was a pause. Not long, but long enough. It's not how it looks. That was not the answer she wanted. Then how is it? Her voice rose, the frustration finally breaking through. Because right now, it looks like you got a whole secret life I don't know about. Yandy, just calm down. We need to talk in person. No, we talking right now. Another pause. Heavier this time. It's complicated. Those two words hit harder than anything else he could have said. Yandy stood up, pacing now. Complicated? A baby is not complicated. It's either true or it's not. On the other end, Mendeecees closed his eyes, knowing there was no easy way out of this. And across the city, Erica's phone rang. She looked at the screen. Mendeecees. For a moment, she just stared at it, her heart racing, knowing that whatever came next was going to change everything. She answered slowly. You see what's happening? His voice came through, tense. We need to fix this. Erica let out a bitter laugh. Fix it? You think this is something you can just fix? We can't let this get out of control. It already is. And as both calls continued, voices rising, emotions running high, one thing became clear. This was no longer just a rumor. This was a situation that was about to pull everyone involved into a storm they might not be able to escape from. Fans could not stop talking. Timelines were flooded with screenshots, clips, and comments dissecting every little detail. Hashtags started trending almost immediately. Hashtag Mendeecees secret baby, hashtag Erica, hashtag loveandhiphop exploded across social media. People were shocked, confused, angry, and intrigued all at once. Influencers weighed in, speculation ran wild, and the gossip world was on fire. No one knew what to believe, but everyone wanted to know more. Yandy was pacing her apartment, phone clutched tightly in her hand. She had not been able to sleep all night after seeing Tasha K's live. The idea that Mendeecees could be hiding something so huge made her stomach twist with a mix of anger and disbelief. She replayed the live over and over, watching Tasha K lean into the camera, her eyes sharp, her voice unwavering, dropping the bomb about a baby she claimed existed between Mendeecees and Erica. Each word felt like a punch, and Yandy could feel her entire world tilting. How could he do this? She whispered to herself, her voice trembling. After everything we've been through, her friend, trying to calm her down, handed her a glass of water. Yandy, don't freak out before you hear him out. Maybe there's more to the story, but Yandy shook her head, tears welling up. More to the story? It's a baby, not a story. That's life-changing. That's everything. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was sitting in his car, staring out the window, phone in hand. He had been fielding calls from family members, friends, and even producers from the show. Everyone had heard about Tasha K's live and wanted to know if it was true. The pressure was mounting, and he felt like the walls were closing in. Every notification sent his heart racing, every message made him flinch. He knew one wrong move could ignite a firestorm bigger than anything he had ever faced. He finally decided to call Erica. She picked up after the second ring, and the tension was almost palpable through the line. You saw it, didn't you? Mendeecees said, his voice low, careful. Erica's laugh was bitter. Of course I saw it. Do you think I'm blind? Do you think I don't know what's going on? He sighed heavily. It's not what it looks like, not what it looks like, she snapped. You don't get to say that. People are talking about a baby. Do you even hear yourself? I know. Just, we need to handle this before it gets worse. Handle this? Erica's voice was rising. It's already out there, Mendeecees. It's trending. People are speculating. Everyone is judging. Back at Yandy's place, the phone rang again. It was Mendeecees. She hesitated, then answered, voice sharp. Where are you? Tell me right now. I'm outside. Can we talk? His voice was calm but strained. We are talking. Here, now. There was a long pause. Yandy, it's complicated. You don't understand the full situation. Complicated? A baby is complicated? Really? You think that word makes it okay? Her voice cracked with frustration. He remained silent for a moment. I didn't mean for anyone to find out like this. Like this? Yandy's voice rose. Like this? You think keeping it a secret and letting Tasha K drop it on the internet is how it should happen? Across town, Erica had her own battles. Her phone had been blowing up for hours. She tried to ignore it, but the messages kept coming, some supportive, some accusing, some demanding answers. She couldn't escape it. She finally sat down, her hands shaking, staring at the screen. The weight of the accusation, whether true or not, felt crushing. She knew that whatever she said or did next could either calm the storm or make it a full-blown hurricane. You need to say something, her friend urged. People are not going to wait for the truth, and what do I say? Erica whispered. That I'm innocent? That I'm guilty? No matter what, they'll twist it. They'll use it against me. Back with Mendeecees, he was pacing in his car, the conversation with Yandy lingering. He knew he had to act fast, but every option felt like walking on a tightrope. One wrong word, one wrong move, and everything he had built would come crashing down. The scandal could ruin relationships, careers, reputations. He felt trapped between loyalty, secrecy, and the explosive nature of the truth now out in the open. Yandy hung up after the call, her mind racing. She could barely breathe, thinking about what this meant for her, for Mendeecees, for the family. Every scenario played in her head, each one worse than the last. Anger, betrayal, disbelief, all mixed into a storm she couldn't control. In the middle of the chaos, Tasha K posted another clip. Fans were quick to notice, replaying it obsessively. The way she framed the information, the way she delivered it, the pauses, the emphasis on every word, it was calculated, precise, and devastating. People debated online if she had concrete proof or if she was stirring the pot. Either way, the damage was done. The narrative had shifted, and everyone involved was caught in the eye of the storm. Comments kept pouring in. I can't believe this, is it real? Yandy needs to leave him, Erica always gets what she wants, Mendeecees is hiding everything. The conversation spanned platforms, each fan trying to make sense of the alleged secret, speculating about timelines, and dissecting past interactions for clues that would either confirm or deny the claim. In the midst of all this, the family was left divided. Some stood by Mendeecees, some questioned him, some were outraged. The tension that had been simmering under the surface for months finally boiled over into a public spectacle. Whispers in private conversations turned into outright confrontations. Emotions ran high, accusations flew like arrows, and no one knew where to find solid ground. As night fell, the city lights blurred outside Yandy's window. She sat down, exhausted but unable to rest. The thought of Mendeecees, of Erica, of the secret that might exist, kept her awake. She replayed every interaction, every memory, every word he had said. The suspense, the fear, the anger, it all mingled into a storm inside her. She knew nothing would ever be the same again. Fans were watching, waiting, debating. The story was alive, breathing, evolving. Each update, each call, each screenshot added fuel to the fire. And in that chaos, one thing was clear, the drama had only just begun. The next morning brought no relief. If anything, the storm had intensified. Social media feeds were flooded with theories, old clips, and past interviews now dissected under a new lens. Fans were obsessed, digging through every appearance Mendeecees and Erica had ever made together, looking for hints, for signs, for anything that could confirm Tasha K's explosive claim. Every like, every comment, every tag became a potential clue in the unfolding drama. It was relentless, and the pressure was now inescapable. Yandy, meanwhile, could hardly function. She barely ate, barely slept, her mind racing with images, messages, and the looming possibility of betrayal. She tried to focus on work, but every notification made her jump, every mention of Mendeecees and Erica made her blood run cold. She had spent years building trust, building a life, and now it felt as if it was teetering on the edge of collapse. She had to know the truth, and she had to confront it head-on. She decided to call Erica directly, the tension in her chest like a weight pressing down. When Erica answered, the conversation started civilly, almost polite, but the politeness was paper-thin. Do you know what Tasha K just said? Yandy asked, her voice sharp but controlled. Erica's laugh was bitter. I heard it. You know, it's funny how everyone assumes the worst. She paused, letting her words hang. You want to believe it, fine. But the truth isn't always that simple. Yandy's jaw tightened. Truth? Do you think this is a joke? A baby? Really? You don't get to play innocent now. I never said I was innocent, Erica replied, calm but firm. I just said the story is more complicated than a headline. Their exchange escalated quickly. Voices raised, words that could not be taken back were exchanged. The tension was electric. Somewhere in the background, phones were buzzing, texts piling up, notifications screaming with every new fan reaction. The public eye was on them, and every word they spoke would be dissected, replayed, analyzed. It was no longer private, it was a spectacle. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was dealing with his own pressures. Friends and family had shown up at his place, phones in hand, eager for answers. Producers called, demanding statements. People in the industry were whispering, calling, sending texts, looking for confirmations or denials. Every minute that passed without clarity seemed to fuel the rumors further. His once orderly life now felt chaotic, unpredictable, and volatile. He paced his apartment, running through explanations, rehearsing what to say if he ever had to face the cameras. Each scenario brought a different fear. If he denied it, the evidence might surface. If he admitted it, the fallout would be catastrophic. He felt trapped, caught between protecting relationships, maintaining a public image, and the undeniable pressure of the claims that had exploded overnight. Across town, Erica was experiencing similar turmoil. Her social media accounts were blowing up, fans and haters alike demanding answers. She read every comment, every message, feeling both anger and fear. Some messages were supportive, encouraging her to stand her ground. Others were accusing, judgmental, and cruel. She tried to keep her composure, but every notification was a reminder that nothing could ever go back to the way it was. Back with Yandy, she was finally forced to confront reality. She knew she could not avoid Mendeecees forever. Her hands shook as she called him again, desperation in every word. We need to talk. In person. He hesitated. Yandy, okay, let's meet. The meeting was tense. The room was thick with unspoken accusations and the weight of the public eye. Yandy's eyes scanned him, searching for any sign of deceit. Mendeecees avoided direct eye contact, every movement careful, deliberate. The tension was suffocating. Words were exchanged cautiously at first, then louder, sharper, more emotional. Old wounds reopened, resentments surfaced, and secrets that had been buried were dragged into the light. Why didn't you tell me? Yandy demanded. Why keep something like this a secret? I didn't know how, he admitted, his voice strained. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I didn't expect it to come out like this. Not like this? She shouted, tears forming. Tasha K had to go live? Fans had to see it? I had to find out from the internet. He looked down, guilt washing over him. I made mistakes. The conversation spiraled, emotions running high, each confession and accusation layered over the previous. The room felt like a pressure cooker. Outside, the world watched, tweeted, recorded, and reacted. Each fan, each comment, each repost amplified the drama, making every word, every glance, every pause significant. In the midst of this chaos, Tasha K posted another clip, this time hinting at additional details. The speculation grew. Fans theorized about timelines, secret meetings, and hidden interactions. Influencers weighed in, picking sides, defending, accusing. The story was no longer just a rumor, it was a full-blown narrative, evolving minute by minute, fueled by speculation, fear, and anticipation. Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica were at the center, trapped in a web of their own making, their actions scrutinized, their every emotion broadcast to the world. Private grievances became public spectacles. Trust was questioned, loyalties tested, and relationships strained to their breaking points. The storm was relentless, and none of them could escape its force. The tension had reached a point where even small gestures were loaded with meaning. A glance, a text, a slight hesitation, everything could be interpreted as confirmation or denial. The weight of expectation, judgment, and rumor pressed down like a physical force. Every decision mattered, every word mattered, and the question on everyone's mind was the same: how far would this go before it could be contained? By midday, the drama had reached new heights. Fans were obsessed, refreshing feeds, sharing clips, debating in endless threads. Every detail of the alleged secret was under scrutiny. Speculation ran wild about when the baby could have been conceived, how long Mendeecees had kept it a secret, and what Erica's role really was. The narrative had taken on a life of its own, fueled by screenshots, blurry photos, and Tasha K's relentless posting. Emotions ran high across the internet, and nowhere was safe from the storm. Yandy had retreated to a quiet corner of her apartment, phone in hand, scrolling desperately through fan theories. She could barely breathe. The idea that her life, her family, and her trust had been shaken so violently was almost unbearable. She felt betrayed, confused, and furious, yet a small voice inside kept whispering that she needed answers, clarity, closure. She could not allow speculation to control her life any longer. Mendeecees meanwhile was fielding messages from friends, family, and colleagues. The pressure was overwhelming. Producers called, expecting statements, fans demanded transparency, old acquaintances sent cryptic texts, adding to the confusion. He felt trapped, every option fraught with risk. Denying it could appear dishonest. Admitting it could destroy relationships he had fought to protect. Every passing minute intensified the storm. Erica, sitting across town, was similarly engulfed. Her phone buzzed non-stop. Messages ranged from supportive to accusatory, from curious to cruel. She read each carefully, feeling a mix of anger, fear, and exhaustion. Every notification reminded her that nothing could stay hidden anymore. The story had moved beyond control, and every decision now carried enormous consequences. Yandy finally decided to confront Erica directly. The call began tensely. "Do you know what Tasha K said?" she demanded. Erica, calm but guarded, replied, "I heard it. You assume the worst, but truth isn't always that simple." Yandy's anger flared. "Simple? A baby? Do you think this is a game?" Erica's voice hardened. "I never said it was a game. I said it's more complicated than a headline." Their conversation escalated, voices rising, accusations flying. The tension was palpable, almost physical, each word carrying the weight of suspicion and fear. Back at Mendeecees' place, the pressure was crushing. His friends were there, phones in hand, demanding answers. Family members stopped by unexpectedly, pressing for the truth. The media called, requesting statements. Every message, every call, every glance reinforced the magnitude of what was happening. He felt the walls closing in, the storm growing, and his ability to control the narrative slipping further with every passing moment. Tasha K, sensing the chaos, continued to post, each clip more provocative than the last. Fans dissected her every word, analyzed her tone, speculated on her sources. The story evolved in real time, fed by social media, curiosity, and fear. Speculation about secret meetings, hidden moments, and concealed conversations dominated feeds everywhere. What began as a single claim had mushroomed into a wildfire of conjecture and emotion. Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica were now living under a microscope. Private feelings were publicized, whispers became headlines, doubts turned into accusations. The trio's actions, reactions, and decisions were examined endlessly. Trust, loyalty, and relationships were all at stake, teetering on the edge. Fans debated who was right, who was guilty, who was innocent, and who would be blamed next. Even casual interactions were scrutinized. A slight hesitation in a response, a brief pause in a video call, a quiet glance across a room, everything was analyzed, judged, and shared. Social media amplified every small detail, making each moment critical. The tension between Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica intensified with every passing hour. Their private lives had become a spectacle, and no one could escape the public eye. As evening approached, Yandy sat alone, reflecting on the day. The weight of betrayal, suspicion, and public attention was suffocating. She replayed conversations, texts, and interactions in her mind, each detail dissected, each word measured. She felt a storm inside her that mirrored the chaos outside, a mixture of anger, confusion, and fear. She realized that nothing could ever be the same. Fans continued to obsess, comment, and speculate. Every new post, every update, every clip Tasha K released kept the drama alive, feeding the narrative, fueling the frenzy. The story had escaped control, evolving in ways none of the three could predict. One thing was clear, this was only the beginning. The storm was far from over, and everyone involved was now inextricably tied to its path, caught in a whirlwind of emotion, speculation, and public scrutiny. As night fell, the tension reached a fever pitch. The story had spread beyond social media, making its way into group chats, podcasts, and even late-night commentary. Fans dissected every past interaction between Mendeecees and Erica, analyzing pictures, videos, and interviews frame by frame. Every small gesture, every glance, every smile that had once seemed innocent now carried potential meaning. Rumors became theories, theories became accusations, and accusations became a frenzy that no one could escape. Yandy sat on her couch, phone in hand, scrolling endlessly. Each notification made her heart race, each comment made her stomach twist. She felt trapped between disbelief and fury, between hope that it wasn't true and fear that it was. She replayed the calls with Mendeecees over and over in her mind. His words, his silences, the pauses between phrases, all of it now felt loaded with secrets she had no way of fully understanding. She wondered how long he had been hiding this, what she had missed, and how deep the betrayal might go. Mendeecees, on the other hand, paced his apartment, feeling the walls close in. Every friend, every family member, every associate was now calling, texting, or stopping by. Questions, accusations, demands, they all blended into a constant hum of pressure. He felt like a man trapped in a storm, one where the public's eyes and opinions had become weapons he couldn't defend against. The reality of Tasha K's claims weighed heavier than any decision he had ever faced, each moment a test of patience, composure, and strategy. Erica sat in the quiet of her own home, phone buzzing relentlessly beside her. Messages poured in from fans, friends, and strangers alike. Some were supportive, some accusatory, others mercilessly speculative. She stared at the screen, her hands trembling, feeling the pressure of every notification. Each ping reminded her that there was no turning back now, that whatever had been private was now public, and that every decision carried consequences she could not avoid. Yandy finally decided that avoidance was no longer an option. She needed to face Erica directly. She dialed the number, heart pounding. "Do you know what Tasha K just said?" she demanded, voice sharp and unrelenting. Erica, calm but defensive, replied, "I heard it. But you assume the worst. The truth isn't always that simple." Yandy's temper flared. "Simple? A baby? Are you serious? Do you think this is a joke?" Erica responded, voice firm, "I never said it was a joke. I said it's more complicated than a headline." The argument escalated, voices raised, accusations exchanged. The room felt charged with unspoken emotions, every word like a spark in a powder keg. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was still dealing with the fallout. Calls from friends, family, and producers kept coming, demanding statements, explanations, or confessions. He knew that every word he spoke could escalate or contain the situation, but he felt trapped, unsure of which path would protect him or worsen the firestorm. Each passing hour made the reality clearer. This was no longer a private issue. The world was watching, commenting, and judging every move. Tasha K continued to stir the pot, posting clips hinting at more information, keeping fans on edge, speculating, and debating. Each post became fodder for theories, each theory for arguments, each argument for more chaos. The story had taken a life of its own, spreading uncontrollably, growing in complexity, and consuming everyone connected to it. The public's fascination fueled every action, every reaction, every misstep. Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica found themselves in a high-stakes game with no rules, no safe spaces, and no privacy. Every glance, every gesture, every conversation was scrutinized. The weight of expectation, judgment, and rumor pressed down like a physical force. Private feelings were exposed, trust questioned, and relationships strained to the breaking point. The situation had become a spectacle, and they were all unwilling stars caught in its glare. As the night deepened, tension became unbearable. Even small gestures, hesitations, glances, text replies, were interpreted as confirmations or denials. Each action, each pause, carried significance, magnified by the relentless attention of fans and media alike. The private was now public, the hidden was now exposed, and the boundaries of truth and speculation blurred. Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica were ensnared in a storm of their own making, each move under intense scrutiny, each word a potential headline. Throughout the chaos, one thing was unmistakable: the drama was far from over. Each moment brought new revelations, new arguments, and new tensions. The story continued to evolve, fueled by speculation, exposure, and emotion. Fans, friends, and family were all caught up, their attention and opinions amplifying the storm. And in the eye of it, the three at the center realized that their lives had shifted irreversibly. There was no going back. Every action from this point forward would matter, shaping a narrative that would be watched, dissected, and debated for weeks, maybe months, to come. The following morning brought no relief, only a new wave of chaos. Headlines were everywhere, some quoting Tasha K directly, others speculating wildly, every version more sensational than the last. Fans were relentless, analyzing every past interaction between Mendeecees and Erica, scouring social media for any hint that could prove or disprove the claim. Every post, every photo, every old interview was dissected frame by frame. The story had become a wildfire, consuming everything in its path. Yandy barely slept. Her phone never stopped buzzing, and each notification sent her heart racing. She had tried to distract herself with work, with friends, even with music, but nothing worked. The idea that Mendeecees could have hidden something so monumental made her stomach churn with anger, confusion, and disbelief. She replayed every call, every conversation, every moment they shared over the years. The puzzle pieces no longer fit together, and she felt as if the foundation of her life had shifted beneath her feet. Mendeecees was feeling the pressure from every angle. Friends, family, colleagues, and producers bombarded him with calls and messages, all wanting answers, all seeking confirmation or denial. The weight was suffocating. He had carefully built his public image, maintained relationships, and protected private moments, but now everything was exposed. The storm was relentless, and he felt powerless, caught between loyalty, secrecy, and the truth that had already escaped his control. Erica, too, was overwhelmed. Her phone buzzed incessantly, messages piling up faster than she could respond. Some were supportive, others accusatory, and most demanded answers she wasn't ready to give. Every notification reminded her that the world was watching, that privacy no longer existed, and that one misstep could ignite the flames even further. She stared at her reflection in the mirror, trying to reconcile the calm she projected with the turmoil she felt inside. Yandy finally decided she needed to confront Mendeecees in person. She couldn't wait any longer, couldn't process the rumors secondhand. When she arrived at his apartment, the air between them was thick, charged with years of trust and betrayal now tangled together. Words were cautious at first, polite even, but as the conversation progressed, the calm broke. Voices rose, tears formed, accusations flew, and past grievances resurfaced. The tension in the room was almost tangible, each silence heavier than the last, every glance full of unspoken questions. "How long were you hiding this?" Yandy demanded, her voice sharp and trembling. "How could you let it come from Tasha K, not me?" Mendeecees ran a hand through his hair, guilt clear on his face. I didn't know how to tell you. I wanted to protect everyone. I never wanted it to get out like this." "Protect everyone?" Yandy shouted. "The world knew before I did. The world knows everything before I do." The argument spiraled, emotions raw and exposed. Mendeecees tried to explain, to justify, to calm, but every word seemed to ignite another spark. The past, long buried, had now collided with the present, and there was no clear path to resolution. Across town, Erica wrestled with the chaos of her own making. The influx of messages, theories, and fan commentary had created a pressure cooker. She tried to respond carefully, to maintain composure, but the sheer volume of attention made every move risky. One wrong statement, one misinterpreted gesture, and the story could spiral even further. She felt the walls closing in, realizing that whatever truth existed, it was now inextricably tangled with public perception. Tasha K, meanwhile, was relentless. Every post, every clip, every tease kept the fire alive, driving speculation and fueling discussion. Fans debated timelines, motives, and hidden details. They picked sides, analyzed every interaction, and created a narrative that no single person could control. What began as a claim had transformed into a spectacle that consumed everyone involved. Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica were now characters in a story they could no longer manage. Every glance, every message, every hesitation became a headline, a point of debate, a weapon in a storm of public attention. Trust was fractured, loyalties tested, and private matters had become public entertainment. The tension was unbearable, the drama relentless, and the consequences far-reaching. As night fell again, the trio realized the reality: this was no ordinary rumor. It had become an unstoppable narrative, fueled by speculation, exposure, and emotion. Every action they took now mattered, shaping public perception, relationships, and reputations. Fans were watching, analyzing, and waiting for the next move. And in that charged atmosphere, one thing was certain: the storm was far from over, and no one could predict where it would hit next. The next day, the pressure reached a level none of them could ignore. Social media had become a battlefield. Fans, influencers, and critics dissected every previous interaction between Mendeecees and Erica, looking for hidden meanings, suspicious timelines, and subtle clues. Every post, every comment, every like was scrutinized. Speculation ran rampant, theories multiplied, and the story grew bigger with each passing hour. It was no longer a rumor, it had become a phenomenon, a wildfire that nobody could contain. Yandy was exhausted but could not stop herself from following every development. Her phone never stopped buzzing. Every notification made her heart race, every tag, every screenshot, every comment felt like a new punch. She replayed the calls with Mendeecees in her head over and over, dissecting each pause, each inflection, each word. How long had he known? How long had Erica known? And how deep did the secret go? Anger, fear, and confusion swirled inside her, threatening to consume her. She knew one thing: nothing could ever be the same again. Mendeecees, for his part, was frantically trying to manage the fallout. Friends, family, colleagues, and producers were calling non-stop. Some demanded explanations, some offered advice, and others criticized his silence. He felt trapped, unable to control the narrative, unable to explain himself without risking more chaos. Each message, each phone call, each new social media post pushed him closer to the edge. He had tried to keep this private, to protect everyone, but the storm had already broken loose. Erica was also under immense pressure. Her phone was a constant source of anxiety, filled with messages from fans, friends, and strangers, all demanding answers. She felt cornered, unsure of how to respond, knowing that any statement she made could be twisted or used against her. She stared at her reflection in the mirror, trying to reconcile the composed exterior with the panic and guilt she felt inside. Every ping, every notification reminded her that nothing was private anymore. Yandy decided she could no longer wait for answers from either of them. She needed clarity and closure. She confronted Erica directly. "Do you understand what's happening?" she demanded. Erica, calm but defensive, replied, "I hear it. But the truth isn't as simple as Tasha K made it sound." Yandy's voice rose. "Simple? A baby? Do you think this is trivial?" Erica responded firmly, "I never said it was trivial. I said it's complicated. More complicated than a headline can capture." The conversation escalated quickly. Accusations flew, voices rose, and emotions spilled over, making the room feel charged with raw tension. Mendeecees was pacing in his apartment, trying to make sense of the chaos. Producers, friends, and family were calling, some angry, some confused, some desperate for clarification. He knew the story had escaped control and that every word he spoke now could either calm the storm or worsen it. Every passing hour seemed to add fuel to the fire. He felt trapped, caught between honesty, secrecy, and the public's insatiable need for drama. Tasha K continued to stir the pot. Every clip, every hint, every post she made kept fans guessing. The speculation was relentless. Timelines, motives, and hidden meetings became fodder for endless online debate. The story was evolving in real time, fueled by social media, gossip, and the public's obsession. What had started as a single claim had transformed into a spectacle that consumed everyone involved. The tension among Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica had reached a breaking point. Private emotions were now public property. Trust was fractured. Relationships were tested. Every gesture, every text, every silence carried weight. The drama was relentless, the stakes higher than ever, and the consequences far-reaching. Every move was under scrutiny, every word potentially explosive. As night fell, the storm showed no sign of abating. The trio realized that this was no ordinary rumor. It had taken on a life of its own, fueled by speculation, exposure, and raw emotion. Every decision mattered, every action had consequences, and the public's gaze was unyielding. The narrative was unstoppable, evolving with each hour, and no one involved could escape its force. The tension, the suspicion, and the drama had become their reality, and they were trapped at the center of a spectacle that would not end quietly. The next morning, the tension had reached an unbearable peak. Fans were dissecting every interaction, every message, every photo between Mendeecees and Erica, trying to piece together a timeline that could confirm Tasha K's explosive claim. The speculation was relentless, and everywhere you looked, hashtags trended, comments poured in, and theories exploded across platforms. The story had become bigger than anyone could have anticipated, spiraling beyond control, consuming everyone involved. Yandy sat in her apartment, exhausted but unable to stop monitoring the chaos. Each notification made her heart pound, each comment twisted the knife of betrayal just a little deeper. She replayed the confrontations in her mind, the heated arguments, the tears, the pauses that spoke volumes. Everything she had trusted now felt fragile, every relationship questioned. The storm had changed everything, and she knew life could never return to normal. Mendeecees, meanwhile, was pacing, phones ringing constantly. Friends, family, producers, and even casual acquaintances called with questions, accusations, and theories. He felt trapped, unable to explain without causing more damage, unable to stay silent without feeding the frenzy. Every decision seemed like a potential disaster, every word a possible headline. He realized the fallout would last weeks, maybe months, and that nothing he had built could shield him from the public scrutiny now. Erica, sitting in silence, felt the weight of judgment pressing down. Her phone buzzed endlessly, notifications piling up, each one carrying opinions, demands, and speculation. She wondered if there was any way to navigate this without losing control entirely. One misstep, one slip of the tongue, could escalate the drama even further. She realized that the truth, whether she revealed it or not, had already escaped her grasp and taken on a life of its own. As the day unfolded, tensions ran high in private conversations, public arguments, and social media feeds alike. Accusations were thrown, explanations were demanded, and emotions spilled over in every direction. Yandy confronted Mendeecees once more, demanding honesty, while Erica maintained her guarded stance, neither confirming nor denying the allegations completely. The family, friends, and fans watched every move, interpreting silence as guilt, hesitation as confirmation, and confrontation as proof that the secret was real. Tasha K, ever the provocateur, continued to release clips and hints, each post escalating the speculation and frenzy. Fans debated timelines, motives, and the authenticity of every claim. Influencers picked sides, interviews were analyzed, and old footage was dissected as if every frame held a hidden truth. The story had become a living, breathing spectacle that none of the three at the center could control. And now, the question remains, what really happened between Mendeecees and Erica? Is there truly a secret baby, or has the drama been exaggerated for views? Will Yandy find closure, and can trust ever be restored? Fans are watching closely, weighing every detail, and waiting for the next explosive development. You, watching this unfold, have to decide where you stand. Do you believe the claims, or do you think there's more to the story than meets the eye? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you're shocked by the revelations, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next twist in this ongoing saga. Stay tuned, because in this world of secrets, betrayal, and drama, you never know what's coming next.